to this Pilates class with me, dance floor activist Matthew Black. We're going to start standing on our feet hip width apart. Now look after your bodies. If you have any injuries, be mindful of them as we move throughout the class. We're going to do a class focused around rotations. So rotations in the spine, but also rotations at the joint. I'm going to start standing feet hip width apart. Relax the knees, drop the tailbone down. Think about growing really tall at the top of your head. Now I'm keeping the camera quite close to me, so as I bring my arms up, my hands may disappear, but you can use your imagination to see what my hands might be doing when we get there. I'm sure it won't be anything too interesting. So first of all, breathing in, raising the heels off the floor. Breathing out, let the heels rest back down. Start connecting to your breath, breathing deeply as you move. In through the nose and out through the nose. If the exercises get really strong, maybe breathing out through the mouth. Lovely. Now bringing the right knee into the chest, giving yourself a hug and just warming up that ankle. Testing your balance today and resting the foot down. Let's do that again. Heel rise. Thinking about engagement in the stomach muscles, pulling the pelvic floor up and then rising the knee, squeezing it into the chest and resting the foot down. Lovely. Now we're going to take the feet wide and bend the right knee, pushing the bottom backwards so that you feel the strength in this thigh. Floating up, then bending the left knee, pushing the bottom backwards, feeling the strength in the thigh. Now you're going to do that again, bending this leg here, the right leg, and pushing the bottom backwards. So you really want this shape here. You don't want the knee to come forward. And similarly, bending the left leg, you don't want the knee to collapse in like this. So feeling the strength in your thighs. Lovely. Coming one way and the other, really sucking the belly and trying to keep the shoulders sort of over the knees or the hips. Now taking the left arm to the right toes, opening up, breathing in and breathing out, rotating that spine and reaching down towards the toes, to the knee if you can get there, beyond the little toe if you're feeling really strong and flexible. Lovely. And then let's collapse everything down, relax the neck, tuck the tailbone under and roll up one vertebrae at a time, and then walk toe heel all the way in. Now we're going to take a roll down one vertebrae at a time. Let's come and stand at the back of the mat so you've got the whole mat in front of you. Relax the neck, relax the knees and tuck that tailbone under. So as you roll down, bending the knees, making sure your neck is relaxed and your shoulders are relaxed, you can feel a light stretch in the lower back. Now if that feels really uncomfortable, feel free to pop your hands on your thighs and then give yourself a little shake out. Now resting both hands on the floor, let's take the right arm to the ceiling. Really stretching out, feeling the stretch in the right leg and resting, and doing the same on the other side. Then walking forward so that you're on all fours. Now extending the right leg and the left arm. We're looking to keep the hips horizontal to the floor before resting back down. And then let's do the same on the other side. Left leg and right arm. And resting down. So breathing in, extending. Breathing out, relaxing. Now you may be wobbling quite a lot here, and that's absolutely fine. The purpose of exercising is to become more adept at doing exercises, and of course you only do that if you practice them. Lovely. Now this time, let's get a bit creative. As you extend the left leg and the right arm, taking the right arm in a big circle, but trying to keep the left leg in the same place. Let's do that again on the other side. Taking the left arm forward, trying to keep the right leg in the same place and circling that arm. Going to use the muscles in the back of the leg and in the bottom to keep the leg in place as you circle the arm. And doing one more on the other side. Breathing in, breathing out and resting. Now we're going to do one more circle, but this time I want you to bend at the knee and come and hold the foot. Now you may not have the length in the front of the left leg to actually reach all the way to the foot, or you might be tight in your shoulders. But if you can reach, pushing to the foot, pull the hand into the foot and open up the front of the left leg or your quadriceps and rest. Let's do the same on the other side. And coming to rest. Well done. Now, lying on your side, I'm lying on my left side here, but if the camera's mirrored, I guess you'll be lying on your right hand side. But we're going to swap over anyway, so it really doesn't matter. I'd like you to extend both legs, and then from here draw the top leg in, so the big toe comes all the way up to the upper thigh. Then extend the leg out and bring the heels together. Now let's have a pause here. I want you to notice how I've externally rotated my leg. Now I'm going to internally rotate it. So now the knee is pointing towards you and the toes pointing towards the floor. Now I'm externally rotating and the knee's now facing the ceiling, and so is the toe. So I'm moving one way and the other. Now I'd like you to leave the rotation so the knees facing the ceiling. Point the toe and draw the big toe back into the groin and extend it away. Now if you're feeling strong, draw both toes in and extend both legs away. Now you notice that my bottom leg now isn't resting on the floor. Now you might find that you want to roll forward, so I'm using my top hand as a way of stopping myself from tilting over. Let's do one more of those. Oh, drawing the heels together and relaxing down. Lovely. Let's sit up in mermaid pose. Sitting as tall as you can. If you've got any knee problem, feel free to flex the foot here. You won't get as much of a stretch, but you'll more importantly be protecting your knee. And then taking your free arm up into the sky and leaning over this tail, if this is called mermaid's pose. So over the feet that are resting to the side. Now imagine I've lifted you up by the elbow so you can really stretch out down into the hip here. Breathing in, coming up, breathing out. Let's swap over sides. So coming to a rest down on the other side. You can always sit up like this if it feels more comfortable. I quite like laying down on my arm, my bicep, and similarly you could prop a block or a pillow under your head if that's more comfortable. Drawing the top leg in and extending it away, remembering we've got that external rotation. And again, if it feels uncomfortable to lie on your hip, you could pop a blanket under your hip, or if you just roll back a little bit so you're on the fleshy part of your bum, that might be more comfortable. Let's try doing both legs, or stick with that first exercise if that feels better for you. Remembering to breathe all along. I find the side lying ones really hard. You should feel that your hips are really warming up around here. And coming up to mermaid pose. Taking the arm to the ceiling, walking the other hand out and leaning over your tail, over the legs that are bent to the side. Lift the elbow up to the ceiling, feel the stretch right down here in the hip. Breathing in, coming up, breathing it out, resting down. Lovely. Now from here, we're going to bring the feet forward. I'm just going to shift myself back a bit. I hope my feet are in the camera's lens. And I'm going to ask you to take your hands and place them down to the right side of your body. Use your arms to push away against the thigh and look over your shoulder. Hopefully you feel a stretch in your lower back. Then taking it the other way. Now I'm placing both hands on the floor to really push down, push against my leg to get that stretch in the lower back. Then we're going to do an exercise where we come down and present. Come down and present. Now feel free to do this with the feet off the floor if you want more of a challenge. And if you want even more of a challenge, then extend out as you bring the arms forward. If you want a breathing pattern, breathe out as you extend and breathe in as you twist. Now carry on your own. I'm going to turn so you can see me doing this same exercise from side angle. Down and present. Down and present. But really stick to the exercise that seems suitable in your body today. You could do this video every day and see how you progress as your body adapts to the exercises. Woo! Now I'm feeling it not just in my tummy but also in my hip flexors. Have you got a few more in you? And coming to pull the knees into the chest and give yourself a hug. Oi, 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 oi. Lovely. Now, we're going to fold the legs and come onto the belly and work the back muscles. So, although you would have felt this around the lower back, that last exercise, we're going to now be working the upper back muscles. I want you to extend your arm out, push your lower ribs into the floor and extend your spine. Now you don't want to feel this in your lower back. If you do, then grab some sort of block if you've got it handy and squeeze it between your legs to help you engage your pelvic floor muscles. You could always use a book, a complete works of something or other, and then push your feet down into the floor and your pubic bone down into the floor. Engage your leg muscles, your bottom muscles, and take the shoulders away from the ears. Think about having a long neck and resting down. You want to feel the engagement in the upper back muscles. Breathing in, coming up. Breathing out, resting down. Now this time, take the left leg up and the right arm. And try and circle that arm as high as you can before resting back down. Breathing in, let's do that on the other side. Now this time, bending the leg and reaching towards the toe and resting down. Now it's not important if you can touch your toe, it's important to feel the engagement in the back muscles. Let's do 2 more on each side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and then drawing the hands under the shoulders and pushing back to child's pose. Oh, so you want to bring your bottom towards your heels and then your forehead towards the floor. If it feels uncomfortable for your knees to do that, pop some pillows underneath, in between your thigh and your calf, and you can build a mashed potatoes hands for your head if your head doesn't reach to the floor. Now, we're going to finish with a lovely exercise called shoulder bridge. So I'd like you to roll all the way down, rest your hands on the floor, suck your belly in and roll your lower back into the floor, push down into the floor to lift up the hips, stretching out the back of the neck. Now, as you roll down, I want you to roll through every single vertebra in your back. Again, tucking the tailbone under and rolling through the lower spine so that you get that nice wave-like motion. This time, as you roll up, become aware of what your knees are doing. It's a tendency for people to drop their knees out to the side, but I'm going to ask you to imagine you've got a balloon between your knees that you're giving a gentle squeeze to engage those muscles in between the legs in the pelvic floor. Now, if you want to do an extended version of this exercise, pull the elbows into the ribs, push down into the elbows, then reach one arm across the other side of your head before rolling back down. And then doing that again on the other side. Breathing in and breathing out. Now try and keep the knees pointing to the ceiling. As you push down into the floor to rise up, trying to keep the knees pointing to the ceiling, and be aware that you're pressing down onto the arms. There's no weight in my head, as you can see. One more on the other side. Coming down and then pulling the knees into the chest and giving yourself a hug. Crossing the ankles over, separating the knees and moving the knees round in circles to massage your sacrum on the floor. Now you continue to do that as I sit up so I can talk to you better. Let's now cross the ankles over the other way and move the knees in the opposite direction. Lovely. And then gently coming back to sitting up like I am here. We're going to extend the arms long, drop the shoulders away from the ears and lift the right ear to the ceiling. Walk the fingers out and then gaze down at the left hand. Coming back to center, taking the left ear to the ceiling and gazing down at the right hand. We're going to pronate the shoulders or round out the shoulders and push the elbows away, feeling the stretch between the shoulder blades. You can dip your head for an extra stretch. And relaxing, taking the right leg out. Take the left hand to hold the outside of the thigh. Bring the elbow out, twist your spine, rotate your spine, and then pull back in your body to feel the stretch across the left side of your back. Now I'm sorry if you can hear noises from next door. We've got two children who are about to have dinner and a very happy cook who keeps bursting out into song. All the joys of working from home. Sitting up tall, taking the tailbone back, bringing the chest forward and then dipping your chest forward to get the stretch in the hamstring. Put a little flexion in the knee so that you feel the stretch here. Now you're trying to do this with a straight spine. It's quite easy to sort of grab and round out the shoulders, but we've already stretched the muscles between the shoulders. So now we're looking at getting the stretch in the hamstring. And the more you sort of straighten the spine, or attempt to straighten the spine, the more of a stretch you'll feel in the back of the leg. And relax. Let's do that on the other side. So taking the right hand across the left thigh, or if you're very flexible, the foot, and bending the elbow and then pulling back in your torso to feel the stretch across the right side of the back. Oi, oi, oi. Sitting up tall, taking the chest towards the thigh. Take those toes to the ceiling, spreading the toes out. And relaxing. Drawing the feet together, sitting up tall, taking the elbows into the knees to feel the stretch in the thighs. Lovely. And finally, we're going to finish with a twist. So coming to cross the legs, draw one hand across the thigh, push down into the thigh and look over the shoulder. Really pushing down into the floor. And then coming the other way, pushing down into that leg, really looking over the shoulder, feeling the stretch in the lower back, and relax. So I'm going to approach the camera so I can finish class rather than sitting in the fireplace over there. I hope you enjoyed the class and you feel like you've had a good stretch out, and I've encouraged some blood into those limbs. Have a really lovely day or evening, drink plenty of water. Do leave a comment or drop me a message if you enjoyed the class, and I'll see you at one of my other classes, either on YouTube or one of my live classes on Zoom very soon.